Hi, Suchismita.
Hi, Sunny. We'll wait for Paul to join in and then we'll get started.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon.
morning, actually, from UK.
Good afternoon is right. I should be good morning to you. Good
Right.
afternoon is right from India perspective.
Suchismita, I just sent one email few minutes back. Did you check it?
Sandeep, we will wait for Paul to join in and then we'll have the conversation.
Sure.
Yeah, hi everyone. This is Paul.
Hi, Paul. All right. So, Sandeep, what I understand is that, and let me introduce ourselves and then we'll get into the context of this conversation. Paul is our leader for digital experience. He's based in Bangalore, one of our leaders as a part of the leadership team. And I actually am in this conversation in the capacity of the CHRO of the organization. And the context is there was a process that has been followed. And within that, you have actually requested for an appeal meeting. And this meeting that we are having with you is to actually to be construed as that. And based on the grievance report that was fundamentally shared, based on the discussions that you have had with Indu and Guru Prasad, so we wanted to talk to you about some of the disagreements that you really had and let you talk about those, and we'll then maybe give you a few responses so that you're able to understand the context a little more.
Yeah.
So go ahead, let's go through all of the points that you have talked about.
Uh, the basic, why we are here is the reason is my termination at Santander. Okay. The way it happened and the way ITC communicated with me, and 3 months, there's no answer. So I just want to know why ITC is so skeptical about their own employee when they know that employee is right, he has worked hard, he has worked right direction, everything is right here. I have given all evidences. Problem is ITC has not even taken a glance at even a single evidence. I have given everything to you. The family relationship and all with that manager, it was alleged that Sandeep used to socialize with them. It was not the same. It is just opposite of what she said, Indu said. I gave proofs that he was a forced guest at my home and I could not say no. That's not even my fault. I won't even blame on him. But these things actually continued for 3 years, and when I actually started ignoring him, he took personal revenge. That personal revenge, I have given every proof. If my company doesn't want to support me just because they want to go with the client, that doesn't make sense. That's a shame, actually. I should say, seriously, I have given every proof.
All right. So, Sandeep, I'll go with the first point. Again, talking back to your email, you have talked about disagreement with the performance rating,
Okay.
right? And we have gone through the rating of the last 3 years. And just to corroborate, you're C plus, solid, and solid. What it fundamentally assumes from an organization structure standpoint construct, a solid performer is somebody who actually does the job that is expected of him or her. And based on all the data that we have seen and all the evidences that have been collected, we do not see any situation where there has been a misconstrue or there is a violation of the principles that have been kept in mind consistently as far as performance rating is concerned. So, even to the extent, and I will read out what you have mentioned about rating being downgraded by Manjunath,
Yes.
we did not find any evidence that actually suggests that any action of that nature has been done.
Where did you check that?
In the system, in the organization
Okay.
systems,
3 years
and I
back,
will
I was
then
given.
it yeah, I will request you to allow the organization also. You can have your point of views, but it is also fair to allow for you to listen in, right, from stakeholders and leaders who are spending their time to help you understand the construct. So I will appreciate if you allow that and listen with an open mind. Is that a fair
Yeah.
assumption?
Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So as a result, if you're talking about, we looked at all the systems, we looked at transaction record to see whether there has been anything which has been done. And we did not find any evidence that suggests, in terms of the email that you have sent, where somebody has been forced in the bell curve. It has necessarily been based on the subject and the contribution that the person has made. Right? Now, the second point in your first one that you talked about, in terms of allocating the bonus, right? Our organization structure and the policies very clearly talks about all employees other than low performance rating are eligible for annual performance payout, which is the bonus pay. And that will be consistently applied for all employees, and that includes you too. Okay. So that's really the analysis that we have done on your point number 1.
Okay, let me speak on the point number 1 now. Can I counter question some things?
You have a right to present your point of view, and I think the approach that we should take is not necessarily to have a counter, but if you have a point of view, please present.
Yes. Are you aware that last 2 appraisals, other than this one, current year, not current year, previous 2 appraisals were not done by my manager, and this was duly escalated to Priyanka and Alag. Appraisals were not done in system. It was a forced default appraisal that I got last 2 years, and before that I got a rating of 8.5 from client. Manju made that rating 8.4, saying Sandeep, there's a bell curve. So that is actually a downgrading which I was talking about. If client is saying that Sandeep is 8.5, I never got 9. I got zero point 0.5 less. So that moves me to one band less. So that happened 2 times. 2 times my appraisal was not done. And out of that, first appraisal was almost nil when I came here. I never argue about that because I had to prove myself. I have proved. So 4 appraisals, 2 were downgraded, 2 never happened in system. How is the organization presenting its case that everything was fair with Sandeep? If look, if my work with client has nothing to do with this, then there's no argument, there's no point going ahead with this argument. Okay, I have given proofs. The last email that I have sent shows my work, and I have given previous team's work to already to Indu and all. If you think that there's something other than this I should have done, then I don't think there is a point to discuss this. If I am the star of the client side and ITC is taking me a C solid performance thing, then you can leave that point ahead, and let's move on.
Right. So let's move to the second point that we spoke about, of verbal abuse. Right. Could you elaborate a little more? Because when we did our due diligence, right,
Yeah.
we did not find a case of verbal abuse, because we take the word verbal abuse in literary sense.
Mm-hmm.
So please explain to us what was actually said and done, which actually you believe is a verbal abuse.
If I am requesting something about my appraisal in a formal appraisal meeting inside the office premises, it was 6 p.m. that day, after office Shenleywood building. How can a manager say to the his team member that Sandeep, you keep blabbering all the time, you don't respond in time, and then when things are gone you just keep blabbering? So what kind of behavior is that? Is that professional for a manager to use such term to a like employee in a formal meeting? If he
Yeah, and I
doesn't
think
know.
Indu shared that as well. So when we spoke to the manager, I will take it in 2 parts. I think the manager realized it, that it may not have been the right way to address, and I think the person later realized and apologized to you.
He didn't. He never.
So, and as a result, we couldn't conclude that this matter actually constitutes to a harassment or an ill treatment the way you have alleged, because it was a point about saying that you are blabbering. Right? And he realized and he actually apologized, because that is what has been recorded, and we had the conversation as well. And he said that during the heated conversations,
There was no heated. There was nothing heated. It was just a request. I was just requesting him. There was no heated argument.
That is your part of the story, which we understand. So we had the conversation because it is a question of reception of information, right, Sandeep? Like how you are interpreting a particular term that has been used from the context of how you are receiving the information. certain trigger that happened. That because what we understand is during those conversations, it happened as a reference. It was not meant to be a verbal abuse. Okay? And he used that word, and as a result, he acknowledged, he accepted, and he's apologized by that.
He never did, but if he did it right now, that's fine. You can just leave that alone. Let's move ahead.
All right. So let's go to the third point that you have actually spoken about, right? Which is providing a clean chit to the HR management, Alak, Priyanka, and everything that you have actually spoken about. Why don't you speak a little more about the context in which you are actually creating the allegation that the whole purpose is not necessarily to look at you from a well-being standpoint and not putting the organization construct in perspective.
Do you have an idea what happened? Means, did they make you aware of the sequence of things that happened?
You have to see when we are in this meeting, Sandeep, you have to assume that people are coming in. Again, like I mentioned, the leadership spends a lot of time to be able to go through this and then gets into this meeting.
In February, it was end February. There was one day I was working normally in my shift. Then this new guy, Anand Kaipa, is my lead just for 10 days, not more than that. The reviews before that of all 5.5 years, all 5 years, 10 months I have given, everything is perfect from work or attitude. This guy starts accusing me that Sandeep, you are deliberately ignoring me and not copying in my mail on my first error. It was just a small miss, not even a mistake. I did not copy him because old chain was there and my current lead was there. So it was very simple. She just added him. For this very small thing, he escalated me to my manager Jitendra Mohan, who is already after me since last year. Okay, let me bring one more thing into context. I sent a mail to Alag and Priyanka in May 2020. Last appraisal, my appraisal sheet mentioned that Sandeep is he has heated argument with team members and he's not a team player kind of things. I uh, I did not agree with that. I called Alag, and Alag said, Sandeep, we cannot challenge the client. So I still don't agree, and I sent him a mail that if there is something written in my appraisal sheet, you have to give an evidence. If I keep quiet on that thing, that means I have done it. I did the right thing. I sent a mail. 1.5 years, nobody responded to that mail from ITC. Okay, what happened from next day was I saw a change in behavior from Jitendra Mohan. He started finding my errors in everything. So whatever escalations or issues Jitendra has mentioned, they will be after 20th May 2020 because I asked for evidence. So he was creating evidences against me. That constitutes aggravated harassment on demand. If I am asking evidences, he started harassing me, and that happened continuously for almost 1 year. I was working in the bounce back deployment till then. It was 2 months gone, everything was fine. When I asked for evidence, he started harassing me. That's fine. I never said a word. Whatever he said, I gave it to him. Sandeep, you will not work on this. Nidhi will work on this. Anand will work on this. I never said a word. He asked me to hand over my work, my queries to them. I gave it to them. So this happened last year. I never said a word. Now this same guy, Anand Kaipa, who harassed me in last deployment last year, he's accusing me that Sandeep, you are deliberately doing this thing. Everybody is copying me. You are not copying me on email. So I told him that Anand bhai, it's just a mistake. I never wanted to avoid you. I never removed you from email. I sent the mail to current lead and everyone who was there. He said you are not copying me. For that we had a call. This is the main point here. We had a call in February, and on that Skype call, it was 28 to 30 minutes of call, and I apologized to him for more than 15 times to that guy. More than 15 times, I said sorry. It was not deliberate. I can swear on my family and everything. That guy said, no, 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 Sandeep, you deliberately did that. It was my first offense. No, not even offense. Not copying an additional team member is not an offense because I copied the older people who were there. She was about to leave on maternity leave. I sent a screenshot where Liz is saying that I never thought Anand will behave like this. Check all those chats. So Anand did that because he's from a team who does not have any persistence in Banksphere. Staffware is such a small thing, so he wanted to save his job. That is why I was targeted. I was the only one in that team who was working, and I have given proofs of that. When I apologized 20 times, this guy kept blaming me. What should I say? Said, should I kill my family? I need money as well. ITC has not given me anything, any good appraisal in last 5 years, and these guys ate up my work for bounce back deployment, where the Centec head has appreciated me. Do you agree with this thing that head of Santander is appreciating me and ITC is saying you are a means C band that guy, and my manager is saying that he's not a team player, and that guy has been eating dinners at my home for 3 to 4 years. He calls me brother. Just 1 second. You can see these. Can you see? Read these. These are Jitendra Mohan, my line manager, not me. He left these cards in my door this Christmas 2020. He has been behaving with me. Okay, I'm sorry for my aggravated voice, but please try to understand. He is a bipolar kind of maniac who has done damage to me in office plus my family. That is why I'm concerned. If it was only constricted to office, I would never have complained. I totally agree. Terminated contract, everything is okay. But this guy targeted my family and kids. I told that 100 times to ITC. He socially exploited me. He asked me to pick and drop his wife hundred of times. I did that. I never said no to him for more than 500 things in last 6 years. I never requested him anything. But why would he give my incorrect this kind of review to ITC? I'm not a team member. Nobody will say that except Jitendra Mohan. Go and ask in Santander. There are 100 people. Everybody is happy with Sandeep except Jitendra Mohan. He targeted my kids. If you are a woman, why don't you understand? He said bad things about my girl. She was 11 years old. That is why I'm angry and all that thing. If I'm escalating, look, he's your client. I know what kind of relationship clients and companies have, but he exploited me so bad, and in the end, he's maligning my name. Okay, I am leaving. What is the need in saying Sandeep is not a team member? He doesn't listen to people. I threatened. I never threatened. I got threatened because if I am feeling suicidal at some point of time when client and their people are harassing me, this is my company's problem, not mine. These guys, I have everything. Just if you want to listen, please. I'm
That's fine.
please
We have all
listen.
the evidences.
Listen to this.
I know about Sundeep and Adi. The Dendra told them that they should do more tickets. I think Sundeep is a person that investigates deeply everything and provides a proper solution. So obviously, he doesn't take as many tickets as someone that takes, tickets that you fix in 2 hours. So the difference is that Sandeep is working harder than others, but apparently, according to Jitendra, apparently he's doing less tickets, so he's working less. That's the problem.
I don't think that, I completely agree with that.
This voice is from Oscar Tavares Quintana, who's my team member. I sent one issue where bounce back UPL was done by me, and he sent a mail to third party team. He's my worst critic, but he's saying, look, what he's saying is same my complaint. I have worked hardest in this team for 6 years, and ITC gave me C band all throughout. Try to understand that I have a family of four, three dependents, and I am getting the worst salary in UK. What is wrong if I am asking for good appraisal, good reviews, and my client is always giving me bad reviews? I am the one who's working the best in team. What he did was exploited me, and he give credit of my work to Nidhi and others and the people who work on simple tickets, open, close, resolve. So how should I survive? I have a family. On the top of that, Jitendra Mohan would come to my house every evening for almost 3 to 4 years, 16 to 19. He will call me every evening, not me. Please check his call records, his car, GPS, everything. He would come to my house. If I can't say no because he's my manager, that's my problem. But that's not something wrong. I was
Yep.
I was exploited.
Yes, and we will keep this as a part of the context, right? Like you rightly said, what the relationship that you have with professional colleagues beyond work and how you necessarily deal with it in your personal space is your choice. An organization is not responsible for it. Okay, so as a result, as a part of this discussion, we will keep it out. And why am I saying that? If you felt that this is something that is being done as an exploitation, what possibly would have helped is you discussing this with your, say for example, in Hetal was there, Alag was there,
I have
HR
told
was there.
them.
If you felt so strongly at that point in time, it would have helped you if you were saying, okay, this is not something that I appreciate or you would want to actually have somebody mediate those
Can I say
conversations.
something? Can I say something? Please,
No,
please,
let me finish.
please. I
No,
did
allow
not
us to finish.
I did
Allow
not
me to
mention
finish.
this because I wanted to highlight this. I just want to ITC to know that I'm not wrong. Work-wise,
No, but
I'm.
just hold on. Just hold on. Again, like I'm saying, it's every conversation is of a context, right? See, in this conversation, the intent is not to prove who's right or who's wrong. It is everything to put it in a context and look at a reason and outcome, right? As far as these points that you are saying, all I'm requesting you to understand is we have to keep it in a particular context. What happened in your personal space, I think we should leave it out of this conversation.
No, we can't leave because of
we
that this harassment started in office. When I avoided him, he started harassing me at work.
That's a personal choice you
No,
had.
no, no. Harassment
yes.
at work, that's not personal choice.
You too. It is a person whom we invite into our homes. You had an option to actually call up the police or anybody else. If you felt it is a choice, again, Sandeep, you have to look at it objectively. If you did not want anybody to invade into your personal space, no organization framework or the policy actually asks you to do so. That's a choice all of us have. And as a result, you exercise that choice, that is yours. Now let's talk about the other aspects of the harassment and the client. So I had the opportunity to actually talk to the concerned stakeholders to be able to really look at it and say what really happened. And the understanding is that, yes, you are very good at what you do. Nobody disagreed with that, even internally and even with Santander. I think what came about, some of the aspects that you're talking about, the team player and stuff, I think it's about the style. In terms of actually drawing collaboration, getting to an outcome, taking people along, because it's always the how, Sandeep, right? The what is important, you're right. And everybody says he's good at what he does. But what happens is that after a point, it becomes difficult because he is not able to understand certain context of convincing people. How do you necessarily look? So the how becomes an point of contention. And that gets reflected in the way you're interpreting it. As far as your technical capabilities are concerned, Sandeep, univocally, everybody agrees that you know your job and you've done your job well. I just wanted you to know that.
Thank you for that. Can I say something?
Sure.
Do you know the difference between the word introvert and adamant or arrogant? Introvert is the word that describes me. I have never means if you talk to my team, not my manager, you will see that whatever he's saying is lying, and he's lying because last year I asked for evidences, and that happened because this guy is targeting me socially and leave alone socially at work just because I am being good. It happened all 5 years. I never complained. But since last 1 years, when I was appraised by Santander technology head, this guy started making my life hell. Okay. And this is when he started putting fake reviews against me so that he could use them in time. So I'm not being a team member. Only Jitendra will say that, not my lead. My lead has said that my work is good and my attitude was professional. So what does that mean? If I talk less, I don't talk to team members much, that doesn't mean I am not a team member. Second thing, I am not being paid here for being a team member. I just do my job, I get paid. Simple. If other people come to me, I help them. I don't go to other people to take help or seek help. That doesn't make me a non-team member. I'm sorry, but this is straight fact. I do my job, I get my reviews, and those are incorrect. So this is the disagreement that I have brought about. Second thing,
That's the way you are interpreting, but all of us are team members in some form, right?
but how
It's
can
not that
one
we are
one
work.
person decide that I'm not a team member and look, if you talk
Not one
to
person.
others, Jitendra is not my like landlord or something. You have to go out of Jitendra's scope. He is harassing me, so his reviews will not count here. Simple.
Sandeep,
If the complaint
that's
is
what we are
against
saying.
Jitendra, he should be scrutinized by his superiors or sent under HRs, not himself. He will definitely not talk about himself as being wrong. So
Okay,
if you
so I understand what you're saying. What I'm trying to explain to you, and you're right, which is why we actually took the time to speak to other stakeholders that you have worked with. And the summary that I just highlighted a while back is a comprehensive summary where all of the stakeholders actually spoke about.
can you give me the
Right? So it is
names?
not just about in Jitendra's thing.
I need the names, please. If somebody is reviewing me and he's not my manager, I have the right to know who is he, who has reviewed me. And second thing, I'm still again asking, was this escalated to anyone above Jitendra, Nigel, HR, or anyone at Santander? Because I remember it was just Anand and Jitendra who handled everything out here until my ousting from here. I was terminated on middle of a shift, and I don't even know that Santander HR or even Nigel is aware. Nigel is the senior manager above Jitendra.
I'll come to that. Okay, so because that's the other disagreement that you've spoken about, but since you have raised it, I think the point that you have raised in your disagreement, saying that Hetal and Alag lied to you, right, on that day when you had the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
See, the process that they followed is as per the secondment policy, correct? And given the fact, and I think Alag explained this as well, saying based on the feedback received and given the continuity from a client standpoint, the discussion was held with you to be able to say this is not something that we will be able to continue. And the conversation focused on that as a normal business process, right? And what Hetal and Alagappan told you is that there's no escalation, but the role has been closed. And as a result, from a secondment perspective, the way it works is, and you have raised that as a part of your disagreement as well, the option is to really look at coming back offshore. Right? So there is nothing wrong in terms of the process.
Did you just say that they mentioned escalation?
I mentioned that there is no escalation. The same point that you said, it is a part of a normal process. That's what they said, correct?
Yeah, right.
During the conversation. So I'm confirming that. What they're saying is a part of the process, saying there's a client dependency. And the client dependency based on discussions that have happened is that we wouldn't be able to actually take the position further. That's the conversation they had with you.
I want to know who is the client here. Is it Jitendra Mohan? Is it Santander HR? Or I need a department or a name.
The department or a name is not something that is about an individual entity, right? It is about Santander as a client.
I am asking because when I escalate harassment against my manager, you are terminating me 2 months after that, and you are counter blaming me and not giving me reasons. So these events are simply like linked. Obviously, I raised him. He just terminated me. That's a personal revenge. You know that. Please don't give me that smile. Because I escalated Jitendra Mohan in February. Priyanka and Alag had a session with me.
Before we go ahead, I would like you to maintain a professional decorum into the conversation.
I didn't say anything wrong because you are smiling at such a wrong allegation where I am saying that I escalated the manager in February. You get me terminated and you are blaming me for that. How is it possible?
No. So Sandeep, that's what we are requesting you to understand. It is not a termination. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you. The conversation that Hetal and Alag had, what did they tell you? Go back to that conversation. What did they tell you?
They just said that, Sandeep, your work at Santander is now complete. And when I asked what does that mean, they said you have 30 days from today to report back in India. That's the only line they said. When I requested why only me, there are two other guys who are 1 year old, Jatin and Praveen. So he said, no, only your role has been foreclosed. Only my role. While CSA, all roles are same. It's support role for everyone. So they were not able to provide me a correct answer when I asked them, is there any other client in UK where you can put me? No, Sandeep, we don't have anything for your role. This was the answer I got. So I clearly understood that it was a personal target, that Sandeep, you have escalated the client, so the ITC company has decided you please better go off or resign, whatever it was. It was an indirect way to force me to resign or go back to India. That was all I understood. So this is ethically and professionally both wrong, because when I raise a complaint, I have already done something in February. Instead of investigating that thing, you have harassed me, you have counter harassed me. It was aggravated harassment from ITC. If you are supporting that client, when you know that your employee is correct, he was actually harassed. If you don't think I was harassed, please tell me. I will give more evidences. Instead of helping me, 2 months later my contract was terminated. And second thing, Santander HR, I don't know what they have. What was mentioned in Santander that I was booted in the middle of a shift? I'm working on something. Okay, if it was a normal termination, it would happen at the end of the day or the next day. I still don't have an answer. Nobody provided me an answer that Sandeep, it was normal. It was not normal. When something is happening in the middle of day, and just before I was going through whistleblowing pages, and I had completed one very important deployment that was lasting since last 5 months. I did two important tasks, and within 20 minutes my ID was disabled in middle of shift. And I have that screenshot that my line manager is saying, Sandeep, let me see which team can help you. So if he was pretending, that doesn't make sense. If he did not know, that doesn't make sense. If he knew, then it simply doesn't make sense, because if he knew, he should have told me one day in advance. I still have my stuff in the drawer in Santander Shellywood building. I don't know what is there. I have my stuff out there to collect, and I don't have links to Santander. I left my data. Alag asked me to send data, and I compiled almost 25 items to send to Santander and ITC HR. And just before I could send, every data is there that can prove that he harassed me.
Understand. But like I said, we did that, and it's very, which came about, and I had the conversations with Hetal and Alak. And again, the point that we will request you to consider is the point that you mentioned, saying, why you, right? And essentially, in ITC, it is in the best interest to have our people, to have our employees continue with a client engagement, correct? As an organization, that is how we are. And you have been in the organization longer, so you would understand that no organization would take a decision on a particular position or a particular person from a revenge or any other perspective. So it is really based on client need and the client context. And what we mentioned, the foreclosure, was in the context of that.
You remember, I have asked for the communication that came from Santander. It happened on 20th April. I asked the communication on 20th April. It was given to me some 5-10 days ago. 2 months. It took 2 months to send me the communication that, okay, I'm not a team member. And is ITC or Santander actually serious that I am fired for not being a team member?
I don't think, like we said, the term fired is possibly used in the right context. I think the context is the role has been foreclosed. And given that our deployments are linked to client requirements, that's the organization framework that everybody follows.
Is there any formal communication or email that actually came in April, or was it over the phone? Jitendra called and said that he doesn't need Sandeep. Was there any formal communication at that time?
Again, like I say, it is not an individual. It is based on a client requirement, and I will not take individuals in there because the organization is always bigger than individuals, and organizations have maturity to be able to take the right decision. So I will say this, that based on the client requirement, the role was foreclosed, and that communication was sent by you or to you by Hetal and Alak.
It was never sent. It was just discussed over the phone.
Had a conversation.
Within 5 minutes, I was sent a mail that we have discussed with Sandeep, revoke his secondment, and 2 days later, I got a mail for my family tickets back to India. Okay, that's one thing. Do you know that I acquired residency? I don't want to go back to India. I am a British resident now, my family. So I explained this to Alag and Hetal already. I requested them if there is any other client. What was stopping them from putting me for any other client? Because I just came to know that ITC is offering people, places. Like I have been sitting here for 3 months. Nobody talked to me about any project, assigning any project in UK, US, or anywhere. Only point that is risen here is Sandeep, you have to go back to India. What is there in
Yeah.
India for me? Look,
Yeah, so if only if you're willing to be able to actually be open to those possibilities, discussions can happen. It's an organization framework that has to be respected, because what we're saying is based on this secondment, as far as this client requirement is concerned, that's how you were deployed. And now that the assignment is over, the organization framework that actually talks about is say, okay, the person needs to come back, or should you choose? That's a choice, right? You're always open to be able to take up opportunities as you deem fit based on your citizenship status. No organization stops any employee or any individual to do that, right? What the organization framework says is what has been applied by the leaders and communicated to you.
why this happened to me? I simply want to know when I am harassed. I was given three sessions with Alag Hetal. There was Kelp HR session. Did you talk to that mental therapist kind of person who had a 2 hour session with me? I told her far more than we are discussing here or I discussed with Alag. I told her everything. This guy made my life hell. Okay, that's out of office, but in office as well, he has harassed, and I've given proof. So why my company is not supporting me? Instead of supporting me, you are going with the client. That's not organizational, ethical, professional behavior from ITC. Simple. Whatever you have said till now, nothing makes sense. Nothing at all.
Okay.
Because I have asked for formal communication, there was no communication from client. There's no name of client. Nobody reviewed me. Means you have talked to stakeholders, but you are not ready to tell me who did that. So it's kind of a black box. That Sandeep, you are doomed. We are not going to tell you anything, but you have to go back to India. So what else is special in this meeting? I have listened to these things by Alag, Priyanka, Smita, and even Hetal. So the point
So then
is,
that if there is something that's consistently being said, right?
no, that means there's something that is missing, and it is taking 3 months for ITC to decide with their panel of lawyers. How come Indu said, Sandeep, we have panel of lawyers who work day and night for us? Will that panel of lawyer make a right wrong or wrong right? Will they turn London into Delhi? What kind of means statement was that by Indu? You have panel of lawyers, I agree, but I am not even thinking about legal things for now. As of now, I have not communicated with anyone except some solicitation from citizens advice and all, and I'm on the right track. That is my right. What I'm asking is why I was targeted when I was harassed. I have those proofs, evidences, those meetings were there. 3 or 4 meetings are happening with Sandeep. Alag said that you are the best, you have very good attitude and all the work ethics. Why not move back to India? Why I was forced to move back to India when I escalated client? This is the main statement here.
I have tried to explain it to you, saying
Mhm.
that it has got nothing to do with the client escalation. It is to do with foreclosure of a role.
You know?
And based on the organization, it is your choice to accept it or not, Sandeep. I mean, our responsibility is to actually try and understand your
Do you see this
disagreements.
football? Do you see
Give
this
the
football in my
points.
hand?
Sorry,
Do you see this football in my hand?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Don't you see the football in my hand? I say it football. It's up to you to accept or not. It's the same thing. When I'm saying I was harassed in February, I escalated. There were 5 or 6 sessions with Alag, Smita, and all. And after you are saying those are not linked. When I complain against someone, he gets me terminated from that company, and nobody is giving me reason. That doesn't make sense. Simply, it's matter of understanding. If you are not
Yeah.
willing to admit that there was something wrong, please be frank. It's not like you have to go like holding your ear from the other side and all that things. If it was that simple, I would have got a response within 1 week of sending my mail that Sandeep, this is the escalation that came from client. Why that escalation from client took 2.5 months to reach me? This is problem from your side, not mine. I have been accused for not being a team member. That is not a. I am not being paid for a team member here. If I did any escalation, data breach, any theft, anything, then please tell me. His allegations of not being a team members are counter attacked by himself. He's playing socially well with me till December. Here's the greeting card he left. Here
Sandeep,
is
that's completely out of scope.
no.
That is your choice. We will not go there.
It's also your choice. You are still not telling me the truth.
Sandeep,
Look,
our
if-
conversation is to be able to give you the point of views based on work that has been done. After that, the choice is yours.
Okay, can I ask one question before you move ahead?
Yeah.
Do you acknowledge the harassment that I have gone through? Was there harassment or not? I have sent evidences. You said my work was good.
I have spent time for 45 minutes to explain each point, because harassment
I am
is a very
asking-
wide term. No, I will not respond to that context in a generic way. There were certain terms used. I explained that. You talked about social context. I explained that also to you. Right? So we will always
Does
keep things in
ITC
context.
know I was harassed? Does ITC acknowledge that I was harassed while I worked for Santander? Yes or no? Simple. Because I was put in a mental wellness session by someone with Kelp HR, 2 hour session, then 3 or 4 sessions with Alag and Priyanka. Why were they? Why did they happen?
You tell me, why do you think ITC did that for you?
You
Why do you
tell me.
believe an organization actually takes care of its employees when an employee says of certain statements which you have made, which actually made us believe, and you made those statements so you would be aware of what statements were made. And at that point in time, you requested for support.
I
and
never
at that
requested
point
for
in
support.
Time, allow me to finish.
No,
And
no,
the person this is a part of an employee well-being initiative that we do for everybody in the organization.
Sorry, that didn't
And
work.
it's specific. That's your choice. Again, saying it is an organization's responsibility to provide a framework. Whether you are able to take benefit out of that is again a personal choice. So the reason you asked, saying why was it provided?
So
it was provided based on conversations that you had, where you requested for help.
I never requested.
Yes, you did say
No.
that you feel absolutely disturbed. You don't know which way to go, and that's why the suggestion was made, saying we have a partnership. See if you can talk to a person who are trained professionals to help you in that journey. It was meant from an employee well-being standpoint, and I would appreciate if you are able to see that in that context.
This was given to me by Alag and Priyanka. I never requested
This
that.
was given to you by, I will state this as the head of HR.
Yes.
This was given to you as an organization framework in the context of employee well-being. It was not something that was given by Alag.
Was it given because I was harassed, or was it given just because organization wanted its own safety?
Sandeep,
I simply
think
asked
it's
one
time
thing.
for us to be able to again have conversations in the right context. I have already explained in what context it was given to you. You can ask me the question any number of ways. My response is not going to change, because that is the right intent with which the organization reached out to you, so that you can have the support when possibly you needed it. Right? That was an organization framework that was applied, and we do that consistently as a well-being initiative for our employees.
Which cases do you do that in?
I am not necessarily authorized to be able to talk about those to you. We will keep this contextual to yourself.
Okay, for my case, why was it done?
You tell me. Why do you believe it was done?
I never asked for it. It was initiated by organizational structure, as you said. So you have to say why it was started.
Why? So essentially, do you remember saying that initially you declined when we said, would you want some help? You declined that.
Yes.
Correct? You remember those?
Yeah.
And after that, the same trend of you saying that you are disturbed continued. And that's when the organization felt that this is where possibly somebody who can actually help you as a neutral person as you go through this was provided to you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to the other points. So in terms of, we already spoke about the harassment.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about this theory of team member, I think we spoke about. I think we have tried to cover all the points that you spoke as a part of the briefing. So what I would
Okay.
like is,
Do you know? Do you know that Santander gives every person, be it a contractor or employee, a chance for a performance rating, for what do we call them, performance plans, and a feedback. Do you know this thing that I never had a single warning email or any feedback till now from client or from ITC? Not a single email in 6 years, and all of a sudden my account terminated by saying that he's not a team player.
oh, I am absolutely acutely aware of it, and that is a feedback I have taken back internally to the team, and that is a process change that we are trying to drive. Right? At the end of the day, it has to be, and those are process improvements that the organization needs to do, and the organization is in the process of doing so. You are absolutely valid to be able to saying that these are formal conversations or informal discussions would have happened. Is it something that has been given to you as a performance improvement plan? I understand and appreciate and agree to that. That's what should have been done. Agree.
When
right? So
Indu responded that in February, the client said a very constructive feedback about my work, but he mentioned something about my being team player and all. If that happened in February, was it escalated to me? I never came to know.
I understand that, which is why when during my discussions, I realized that is something that should have been communicated formally to you. But what I'm given to understand, there were discussions around it, nothing formal, no documentation was sent to you.
Mm-hmm. So it was just a termination letter in one go that Sandeep, you are done now. Do you realize, means just for 1 minute, let's not be professional as human beings. Somebody worked really hard for 6 years. Somebody harassed him, somebody from power. When he complained against those guys to someone of the status of his parents, which is my company, my parent company is like my parents. They should take care of me. When I go back to my company and say this guy's harassing me, what they do is Sandeep, accept that something, and two months later, my contract is terminated. Simple, simple as that. Okay, my faith in ITC was broken that day itself when this happened, and Hetal told me some weird things that Sandeep, it's normal. So whatever is happening in these 3 months, I don't even believe anything because I have lost everything. I know what has happened in the background. Problem is, ITC never wanted to help. I gave so many evidences. Did you hear that recording that I had to do because those guys were fighting that day? And I actually recorded this to show it to Jitendra, not to you. Because Jitendra told me, Sandeep, your tickets are very less. He used me all 6 years for all the best investigations, which are 90% task of CSA, 90%. And the 10% task where the tickets come and people just case release, do the resolve it. Those 10% guys are getting A grades. Sandeep, who actually works on things, is getting 90% things I do. I'm getting C grade. I get bad reviews, and in the end, he ate up my job when I was the most deserving person in that team. So you can personally, I first thing is I apologize to you because I raised my voice a few times just because of disagreements. Thing is, I'm not a bad human. Neither are you. I know you are in your seat. You are trying to save ITC, but other than ITC, there are lives that matters. Okay, people live here. I work here for money. Simple as that. I work for money. I don't work for ITC. I don't work for Santander. When I get a job, I had a mindset that okay, this is the problem, I have to fix it. I have customers and users from Santander who started coming to me, avoiding Jitendra and my leads. I have proofs of that in my mailbox from mortgage and other domains. They had trust in me, people have trust in me. It's only one guy, Jitendra, who will decide that Sandeep is not a team player, get rid of him. And ITC duly obliges. So, what should I think of ITC? You just made it all clear in one means. Howsoever much I complain, I did already. You don't consider that Sandeep has kids, he has family. He was like, I was suicidal because this was the reason. 6 years I worked like hell in office. He didn't give me my work. He used me in house, outside means office. He misused me, exploited me terribly. I'm not even complaining. So it's two-tier harassment. You are one tier is totally my responsibility. It's okay. I'm not complaining. But the other tier, ITC should have helped me. Did ITC escalate this to Santander HR or Jitendra senior managers or anyone duly formally. I don't know that, because what I know is Jitendra is your old ex-employee, and everybody has good terms. I don't say it's bad. Having good terms is good, but when Jitendra can do things over the phone and those things are not documented and there's no documentation why it was done, what should I think?
I understand.
Totally, please don't take it personal. I'm saying everything at ITC. It's not directed at you as a person. Please understand that. I am 42. I'm a very, look, if I'm fighting, I have, you could understand what I am now. If it's 3 months and if ITC is still struggling with me, there are some things in me that make me stand here. I know that. Thing is, I'm not wrong. If I had done a single thing wrong, I would have run away. It's the power of honesty that's kept me going. And if you don't regard it, please, okay, I'll tell you one thing. One very simple thing I told to Indu as well, I told to Smitha. Jitendra Mohan, he calls me, आप मेरे बड़े भाई हो, you are my big brother. He does Rakhi all 6 years, all that sort of relationship. And he's giving my negative review to ITC when I'm working hard. So you can understand what kind of person he is. Go and ask Lalit Khosla how much kind of relationships they have, what kind of person he is. Nobody better than Lalit and Alag knows Jitendra Mohan. How he has acquired the manager post in Santander, everybody knows. Leave alone that, this guy said for my kid, she was 11, I just once requested Jitendra, can you please give correct review to ITC? I have done so much work. So the manager came up with, Sandeep, you already get a very good salary, you know. We came at 28. I told him that, dear my friend, my daughter is due for secondary this year. She has her secondary coming on. The guy said, शर्मा जी आपकी बेटी कौन सी प्रियंका चोपड़ा बन जाएगी बड़ी होके, क्या करोगे इतने पैसे का? This bastard said this line about my 11-year-old daughter. That is why I am here. I'm not here for my contract termination. If you are a woman, trust me, I know you are an empowered woman who is in a very good position in society. I swear on my kids, this happened. That kind of person is dictating my life and ITC is going with him. And you know why I'm suffering? I spent 12,000 pounds in December. That was more than half my savings that went away, and now ITC is asking me go back to India. What should I go back to India with? I have nothing left after spending 12,000 pounds, because I came on the minimalist salary that ITC pays. Minimalist. My 20 years experience, everything was ignored. You know what they told me when I was in Bangalore for induction? Sandeep, you get house for 400 pounds in UK. You get house for 400 pounds. They didn't tell me it was room, not house. So I'm living here with my family of 4, 3 dependents on the minimalist salary where, you know, single guys living in room sharing, they can save, they can live in that. But a person with family of 4, I just barely survived. That is why I fought. If you are not understanding that simple fact, what did I ask? I have worked. I have worked really hard all 6 years. I have proven record. And Jitendra maligned my name in the end. I feel like dying. Seriously, I feel like killing myself because he ate up. My house is too small. I'm compromising on everything. I didn't buy stuff for my kids since last 1 year. He's harassing me in that manner. If you have a heart of a woman, this is exactly why I'm fighting for, because ITC never paid me my right amount. And when I asked Alag, I have paid 12,000. Why can't I get a bonus? I worked in bounce back loan. I got a appreciation from Santec head, and my manager is harassing me on top of that. So what does that mean? Look, the simplest thing here was ITC. Okay, I'll tell you one thing. In last 1 year, my hold on Santander and its application is 15 minutes ETA. Give me an issue and I'll crack it within 15 minutes. That is why I was fired, because Jitendra doesn't want work to happen, things to get fixed. That's okay. I never overstepped ahead of him. I work for my kids. Seriously, I'm telling you. I really have no other option. That's why on that day I have that call with Anand for 30 minutes. I kept saying, Anand, I did that by mistake. I did that by mistake. The guy says, no, Sandeep, you're deliberate. That was the call that ate my job. So what should I say when I didn't do anything wrong? The guy accuses me totally. 20 sorries. What should I do? Should I kill me? Kill myself? That, okay, now you do whatever you want. This guy stepped into our team. He was not even from our team. He and Nidhi, they were outsiders. They have been given lead position in this team just by removing Sandeep. Okay, I was targeted because I was equal to 8 is to 1. I was not anti-team member. That team was lagging behind in a long aspect. It's a different way of saying things. If Sandeep is 100% and the rest of the team is 10%, I obviously can't cope up with them. Why should I go to them for help when they don't know anything? They would come to me, and they used to come to me. Not just them, whole Santander, many people know me. I have proofs from social media chat I can send you, but I didn't send because that is personal chat, and I will take permission of those people before sending that chat to you. I have people working with me. They are still in touch. So my name in Santander, how should I accept this? Look, I have a doubt in my heart that something in Santander was mentioned, that Sandeep has done something really bad. That is the reason I was booted in middle of shift. Hethrel, he doesn't care. Look, it's not his name that is going bad. It's my name. I worked 6 years. It was my first project, and the way I was terminated, what should I think? Please don't console me with those things that organization is I know organization is doing everything right, but that is according to protocols. There are scenarios when this scenario arose just because of special circumstances, and you have to admit that. That is why you are sitting here. Hetal won't have to come to terminate a normal simple employee, not even a lead. If Hetal was in that call, there was definitely some reason. I'm not a kid. Why ITC is playing again? I simply asked Alag. I have been suffering along all 5 years. If you are talking about my manager, let me tell you something. He fooled Alag K Alagappan in front of me. Alag, I have to check WhatsApp status every time, every few minutes. Manjunath is available on WhatsApp status. I have given proof of that to Alag. I have still in my phone. He keeps live on WhatsApp all 8 hours, and he cannot do appraisals for his team. Not just me. Prajna Sarangi, there were 6 or 8 people in his team, all had complaints. Not just me. Please go and ask his team, Viresh Baligar, Prajna Sarangi, all those guys. Everybody was so frustrated with Manju, not just me. He abused me. That was a special case. So, what should I do? I haven't done any single thing wrong. If I'm complaining for my family. Look, if I was single, I had no kids, I would have simply gone away. But ITC has something done bad on the request of Jitendra Mohan. He has exploited me seriously. Look, I'm telling, the reviews that he gave were incorrect.
I am requesting you to know that ICC has not taken an action based on one individual, and even in the current situation of the project, I'm sure, and you will send some of those messages as well, it's a client scenario, and right now we are just going with that. So that's one request that I would have as we conclude the conversation, is to be able to, yes, all of the aspects that you have spoken about, I heard, we heard, and we understand, but the only point that I will request you to have as a takeaway is the decision to be able to foreclose the role was predominantly based on everything that's happening with the client, and it is not based on an individual that the action has been taken. Paul, is there anything that you could add, please?
That doesn't fit in place. Because you are saying that, Sandeep, everything is fine. You are good and all, but your role was terminated. There was no reason given at that time. And when the reason comes after 2 months, it is like you are not a team player. Look, I know how things work. It's not like you are talking to a kid or someone. I have kids. I know how business works. I know Jitendra much better than probably Lalit or Hital knows him. Okay, because of his relationship here, he used to come here. He has exploited me terribly. I never said no, that's one thing. But I know him much better than you guys. Seriously. The place he hails from, the things he told me, I know a lot about him. And I don't agree with this decision that this was organizational or Santander-wide decision. The word client here means Jitendra to me, because I have in my entire career in Santander not sent a single email above Jitendra. Neither the senior managers came to me. So if the hierarchy is to be followed, Jitendra is the one who gives my review. Good or bad, I don't care. He is the one who represents me to Santander management. So the word client here means Jitendra, directly or indirectly. I never spoke to Nigel, Kevin, or anyone at all. So whatever happened, the reviews to ITC, reviews to Santander higher management, this is Jitendra, and he's very good at it. He's doing it. So it's up to you. You keep saying that word client. Those things don't match. What I have is next plan of action because I am a born fighter. I don't care. I will go to Santander after this, and I have means to go. In fact, I have indirect news that probably it was not even a termination from Santander. It was something weird. So that is what took 2.5 months for ITC to cover it up and provide these obscure kind of reasons that Sandeep, you are not a team member. That is the reason. So I really don't agree with that. And you're just trying to walk away after listening all those things. When someone is bad at a colleague's kids, just okay, when you are not in office, think about my words when you are home, look at your kids and say that okay, if somebody says bad words about them, what should we do? And that's what I did. I started avoiding him. He was so skeptical. He barged into our parties. We were having a party with my different friends. He came on our back, Jitendra and Harvester. I told all the incidents to Indu and all. I have
Sandeep, I'll
yeah.
an hour.
Hi. Sorry, I missed.
Yeah. Hi. This is Paul. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Paul, can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we spent an hour in this discussion, and we have to conclude now. As a completely neutral person who's going through this conversation, what I would say is that you've been given a fair hearing, Sandeep. You have your views, and you've been given a fair, not only hearing but perspective as well from again a neutral and senior person coming in with the intent to assist you. I would say that we have to conclude now, Sandeep. So, I don't think we can carry on beyond this point. I really have to go now.
That's all right.
I'll have to close.
But I still don't have answers that I wanted. This meeting
Sure,
was
sir.
of no use to me, as usual, as the previous meetings.
Like we said, Sandeep, that's your choice, that's your prerogative, right? So our intent was to be able to really make an attempt so that we are able to help you with some of those. Now, what we would request is see if there's an opportunity for you to introspect and see if there are areas, if there are things that could have been done differently. Some of the points, like I told you, I agree that in terms of the performance improvement and documentation, could it have been better? The answer is yes. And those are opportunities that the organization is looking into so that these misunderstandings and these cases of communication gap does not arise.
These cases of communication gap have cost me my career. I am at a stage.
And that's the only
It's
part
not.
that we
I know it's not the end, but the kind of trauma I was in for 1.5 months. I am not studying. I'm not doing anything. I'm just concentrating on my future. I'm just trying to document things. In last 1.5 months, I have documented so much. There are like mails and evidences. I won't take much of your time now. I have given you whatever I had, and this is honest review that I have done 100% in office. Jitendra used me 100% socially, and I got just 10% of what I deserved from ITC. So what I last talked to Alag was, Alag, I deserve something as a bonus that year, and he said, Sandeep, there's no chance. There's COVID and all. So I agree with those things. That's fine. But when I have suffered for all 5 or 6 years, I wanted that. He said no. So it's up to you. I I just want to tell that Indu said you socialized with Jitendra. It's just the opposite. He was a forced guest. I never socialized with him. And when I tried to avoid him, he started harassing me. This is my case only, one liner. This harassment came from me trying to avoid him.
Understood. Thank you for your time, Sandeep. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.